Hey, everybody. Hope you're doing well. We're going to go check out the title track off of the Grateful Dead's album Shakedown Street, the song Shakedown Street. This isn't exactly your deepest dive into the Grateful Dead. It's one of the more well-known tunes by the band, but I'm doing this because I want to specifically focus on the envelope filter effect. Now, if you're a guitar player, you're most likely familiar with a wah-wah pedal. It's that thing that looks like a gas pedal, and when you turn it on, when you push down to the toe, it gets very bright, and when you roll back to the heel, it gets very muddy, or it's treble to bass. It's essentially like taking the tone knob on your guitar and turning it whenever you want to go, more vocally effective. Go watch again, Hendrix and or Stevie Ray Vaughan both play Voodoo Child. Go watch any number of guitar solos that Kirk Hammett does with Metallica. I honestly don't know if he can play a solo anymore without a wah-wah pedal. I'm kidding, of course. And then, of course, Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains and Kenny Wayne Shepherd and, just to name it. The wah-wah pedal is sort of a rite of passage for a guitar player. It's sort of one of the first effects that most guitar players end up with at a certain point. Pretty much a staple in the guitar player's toolbox. With that said, we're talking about the envelope filter. Now, an envelope filter is essentially a velocity-sensitive wah-wah. Okay, there's no rocker pedal on it. It's just an on-off switch with two knobs on it. Generally, it's intensity and threshold. Depending upon how you have it set, the wah can be very open or it can be very closed. So it could be very open, like a wow kind of effect, or it could be very closed, like a whoa, 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 whoa kind of effect. And depending upon how sensitive you have the control set, it can open quick and stay open wide until the note fades out, or it can just barely crack open and you'll get that sort of muffled kind of effect until you really hit a note hard, which will make it open wow in that kind of effect. And there's any range in between. So it's a tricky thing to dial in because a guitar with single coils versus a guitar with humbuckers, a guitar with a bit of more of high gain energy versus a cleaner sounding guitar, they'll all have a different level of effectiveness. It's been used by guitar players and bass players alike. Actually, I've heard it on keyboards. I've heard it on other instruments as well. Anyway, with that said, I think Shakedown Street is a phenomenal example of use of an envelope filter. Now, Phil Lesh is not using it on the bass here, but you can hear it on both Bob Weir's rhythm guitar and Jerry Garcia's guitar too. So you'll have Bob Weir's rhythm guitar player, which is much higher pitched, sound like the pedal is set up to stay open, and it gives a little bit of a brighter edge to the chords that he's playing, but they still do close. And then on the other side, with all of the fills that Jerry Garcia plays, you hear just how much it can be used in single note runs. Anyway, I hope I explained that relatively well. I don't know if I actually did or not, but with that said, let's check out Shakedown Street. Could you hear it on the two guitars? You got Jerry's guitar going wow 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 on that side, and then you got Bob Weir's guitar on the other side with that type of on the other side, much higher pitched, much brighter, but both have the envelope effect happening on them. I'm going to start the whole song over again just so you can focus in on that a little bit. One thing I've always found very interesting about that song is the fact that the use of the envelope filter effect is being used on the rhythm guitar parts. Even Jerry's single note lines over in the right hand channel, where he's, wow, 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 that's a rhythm guitar part. Obviously, Bob Weir's rhythmic shuffle is also a rhythm guitar part. And that effect on that particular rhythm guitar part has a tendency to lean it towards sort of almost a disco-y type of sound. I know some people would have considered this a little bit more of maybe, a disco era album by the Grateful Dead. I don't really buy into that, although with this particular song, I think you can kind of hear it a little bit, maybe not as much as the Go to Heaven album, but a little bit. But the thing that's very interesting is that they don't use the envelope filter on the guitar fills or the little lead guitar parts, which a lot of people with an envelope filter would relate that to more of a solo effect. Go to the Edie Brickell and the New Bohemians song, What I Am, that I did a video on a few months ago, and you will hear an absolutely amazing example of an envelope filter being used as a lead piece. And then there's also a Chicago video that I did that has an envelope filter effect, but it's on the keyboard. And again, it's a fun effect, and not too many people are really, like, these days companies aren't really building anything. Like, I've yet to find a good envelope filter that would replace my 1978 MXR envelope filter, which I think is one of the best envelope filters that's ever been produced. Some people like the Mutron. I understand that. But I tend to really love the old MXR. I think they made it from, I want to say, it was 78 to 82 or 78 to 84, somewhere in that time period. It's only a handful of years that MXR made it. They still make an envelope filter for bass, bass envelope filter. And it's you can use it on guitar, but it's not quite the range that you would hear classically being used. So anyway, that's just a little 10-minute explanation on what envelope filters are, and one of them using one of the most classic envelope filter um, songs that I can think of. Please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. We can talk about it further. If you have any questions, maybe I can answer them. With that said, please know that I appreciate you and I wish you all well. Okay, take care.